guys, my name is Stephanie and I will be doing the presentation on jury nullification. So I'm just going to minimize myself to over here so you guys can see me and the presentation. Okay, so jury nullification occurs when members of the jury find a defendant not guilty despite the belief that the defendant is definitely guilty. Usually this occurs when a jury believes that a law or the punishment that will occur for the defendant is unconstitutional or inhumane and they're not going to convict the defendant. So an example of jury nullification occurs in this really big case that I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard about, the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. If you haven't heard about it, it is when O.J. Simpson was accused of murdering his ex-wife Nicole Simpson and this man Ronald Goldman, and despite all the evidence against O.J., he was found not guilty by the jury. And there has been a big controversy over this, so I'm just going to show you a quick clip of the reaction from people watching all around the world.
Please stand and face the jury.
So this is O.J. and his team, counsel.
Mrs. Robinson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of
As you can see, there's a lot of mixed reactions here. So that's O.J. and his counsel. This is the prosecution. This is Ronald Goldman's family. And O.J.'s family. Right here, yeah, this group.
What did you ladies think?
We changed the whole tone of the trial from a murder trial to a racial trial.
I think it's the biggest miscarriage of justice, and I am ashamed to be an American right now because the guy is so guilty, it's disgusting. That jury should be ashamed of themselves for that verdict that they brought in. That's all I have to say.
So as you can see, there was a mix of emotion and opinions about O.J.'s case, and that's because of the evidence and how the jury basically nullified the verdict. So another example of jury nullification is present in our play that we just read, The K Mutiny Court-Martial. So Lieutenant Mark, as you guys know and read, is acquitted for the crime of mutiny, and basically what occurs in the play is that Greenwald turns the case. He does similar to what the defense did in O.J.'s trial. He turned the tone of the case from a crime of mutiny to the mental illness and competence of Commander Quegg. So there's a quote that I found really interesting, and we've talked about it a little bit in the lectures, is by Greenwald in his closing statement. It says, "The entire case of the defense rests on the assumption that no man who rises to command of a United States naval ship can possibly be a coward." Now this is, as Professor Majeski had mentioned, a fiction that the Navy has to uphold. And in this case, that fiction is being questioned. So really, they decide to acquit Lieutenant Mark for his mutinous acts to uphold this fiction. They find it easier to digest and to understand that Commander Quegg was mentally ill than he was a coward who became commander. And really this shows how they nullify the verdict to uphold the principle that they truly believed in and have to continue to believe in so that the Navy can survive, basically. So what happens to jurors who nullify? Really nothing. Jurors cannot be punished for their verdicts, and their decision stands. It cannot be denied. However, it can be reversed on an appeal but the case nor the defendant can be retried due to the double jeopardy clause of our Constitution. There is, obviously, as we saw in the OJ verdict video, public opinion on the jury does get affected by their right to nullify, and if they do nullify, because they believe that the defendant is guilty, and as that one gentleman had said in the OJ video, the jury should feel ashamed of themselves, basically shows how the public views the jury when they say that the defendant's not guilty even though they really are. There is a big debate over jury nullification and whether jurors should know of their right to nullify. And the opposition really circles around this idea of evidence and how a juror's role in the trial is to solely take the evidence and the law and apply it to the case, and to see if whether or not the defendant violated that law and if the evidence supports it. However, that's not always the case, as in OJ and in the K Mutiny. The evidence is influenced and the juror's opinion is influenced based on the context of the case. For OJ, it was due to the Rodney King trials and the tension between the black community, the African American community, and the police community, and how the police were abusing their power and the riots that were occurring, and the jury really felt that in the OJ decision, and it really influenced it. Also with the K Mutiny, the evidence was there to show Mark's mutinous acts, but the jury said he wasn't guilty to uphold the fiction so that the Navy can continue to succeed, because it's built on this idea that no coward can rise to power. So the mutinous act was not mutiny because Commander Craig was mentally ill. So that's a lot of stuff influences the decision, and the opposition really says that that stuff shouldn't matter, it should just be the evidence. Also, there's an added pressure in to the jurors if they have to decide to nullify a law or not, because now they're focused on, is this law constitutional or is it not, and it takes away from their focus on the evidence and the case at hand. Now, the supporting arguments for jury nullification stem from our first Chief Justice, John Jay, who told jurors that they have a right to take upon themselves to judge both the laws and the facts. And this really forced jurors to act on their constitutional right and to follow their conscience instead of just the judge's instructions. And really, it gave power to the people to have an opinion on the law and have a say in if a law was constitutional, or if it was being used correctly, or if it was still effective. And it really prevented the criminal justice system from becoming too rigid. That's my whole presentation on jury nullification. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.